I wasn't even Oh, I had some good shit. I wasn't even recording though. That's okay. Whatever. Let's start over. Okay, so I'm talking about the Flaming Lips because what's up? Hey kids. So we're talking about the Flaming Lips, and I'm talking about the Flaming Lips. And this episode is called I Love the Flaming Lips because I love the Flaming Lips. And it's gonna be a weak ass burp. Oh, it's not even a burp, it's just like a what's going on right now in my stomach. Alright. Whoa, it feels really weird. I just drank a whole kombucha. That's probably why my stomach feels a little strange. But anyway, regardless. I've met Wayne Coyne 3 times. He wouldn't remember me, and he wouldn't be able to like piece those together or whatever, but I met him 3 times, and he's always been just extremely cool and awesome, and I was really shy when I met him this last time, and I'll explain that or whatever. But the second time I met him, I had like, it was in 2011, September 14th, and I have the date stamped on there because I had my phone, and I was recording him talking, but then like when I got to me, so basically he was meeting everyone, doing a meet and greet of all the people that like danced on stage with them. That was like, because they sometimes do that thing where they have people from the audience dance on stage. So he's meeting, and I got to dance on stage, and so I got to have a meet and greet with him. And so afterwards, I was recording him talking to everyone, and then it's funny because right when I got there, I just listened to it because I knew I was recording this episode, and right when I was about to talk to him, I turned it off, which I think was really cool because, you know, I had to I just internalized the feeling, and the feeling was just, do it, man. Fucking make art. I mean, it sounds so simple, but it was just a very kind of awesome thing, and it was a really cool story, man. That's gonna be fun to talk about. I mean, it's a really cool. I really loved that. And so let's talk about the Flaming Lips. I love the Flaming Lips. They're one of my favorite bands ever. I'm gonna go to their Wikipedia right now. I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna go there no, I'm not. I'm gonna go to my fucking Wikipedia of them, which is my fucking folder. Oh my gosh, so look at this. So this is how and I've bought most of these albums, but some of the stuff I hadn't bought. But look how I organized. If you want to know, you're about to see this is how I organized everything in high school. So it's like, that's all their albums. It's in like chronological order, and basically like Spotify does this now, but like that's how I wanted to have it. And that's like their first EP and their album, and that's like it. But then it goes down, and then I have all this stuff. Like I have this thing called Paris Gun, which is like a Stephen Droz solo project that he did like 2 songs of, and like nobody has that. Maybe they do now, I don't know, but not a lot of people have that. It's like a rare thing. Shit, they didn't have it in 2011. They probably do now, man. Everybody's got everything now, man. Because people on the internet they're got it all. But anyways, that's how I'm gonna look at. So I wanted to just I'll start from the beginning. Oh, I had a couple things I wanted to say. Before I started this podcast, I was trying to tune my guitar. And I was having a hard time, and then I was like, dude, just go get your fucking phone. I have a tuner app, and tune your guitar. And I did, and it was good. And then I avoided getting really pissed off. But no, but I mean, I avoided getting like, I just, if you got this technology, just go do it. And I was like, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, standard tuning is like whatever. You can tune to anything, but as long as it's in tune. You know, it doesn't have to be in tune. Sonic Youth is cool, whatever. But I like to be in tune. I like to be in tune. I like to be in tune. know it's who I always wanna be. I wanna think about your day and night next to you. Like a Disney movie, girl. I wanna live happy ever present, happy ever present. I wanna live, happy ever present. Like a present. I don't know. That wasn't planned. That wasn't a Flame Lips song. That wasn't planned. But that part about whatever I said, I want happily ever present. A Mike Kaplan thing he tweeted once or something. He's just like, I want to live happily ever present. I like that. So I didn't write that line, but if I ever use that song, I'll give Mike Kaplan his dues. I mean, I'll just tweet him and ask him in school. You'd give up credit. You gotta give people credit. I can't remember what song that is. Okay, let's get back on track. There was that. Also, and I hope this isn't someone's joke. Fuck, I hope this isn't someone's joke, because it's a joke I have that I've been... But I did it tonight. When, like, you're leaving, and you mean to say, like, have a good one, but, like, then it mixes with see you next time, and you say, having a good time, and it makes no sense. And if it's someone's joke, please let me know. But if it is someone's joke, I didn't steal it from them. But I mean, I'm just like, just feel like it's one of those things where it's like people do it. I'm having a good time. Like when someone's leaving. Yeah, this guy dropped over. So I'm not gonna say what, but I mean, there might be a reason I'm as goofy as I am right now. But he dropped it. Oh, I like that. I'm not gonna become some dude that like makes a bunch of weird dissonant music. I like songs that go like this. Songs that have a melody. Some kind of pain behind it, or some kind of memory. That's what's the point of singing. If if people, I mean, I do in a way. I don't know. I just said leave the music to the artist. I don't know what that means. I don't know if I agree with that line. I don't know if I agree with that because I don't know. It's like it takes all kinds, you know. There's like people that there's an inherent power in music. I don't know how much power, but there's an inherent. I mean, I've been able to sleep with women way more attractive than me just because I play music. So that, I mean, alone shows some kind of power in there. But so it's one of those things where it's like some people kind of see some social status values and they get into it for the wrong reasons. Some people do it for the pure reasons. But you know, I saw a cool thing on Joe Rogan's podcast. Is real fun to watch sometimes. Sometimes though. And he was like, who cares? Al Magical was like, hey, Steve-O's last break is my calling. Joe Rogan's like, hey man, that's okay. Comedy doesn't have to be everybody's calling. For them to start guffawing, that was horrible. For them to start comedying. But you know, whatever. I don't want something telling. I mean, well, sound live and let live. You know, I'm not gonna listen to it. Flame Lips. All right, I'm so fucking pretty fucked up right now. I'll let you know what I ate. I won't. I mean, it's just. If you're talking about weed edibles, let's hyperpose that we're talking about weed edibles. Maybe it's a buttery one, or maybe it's just we're talking about the butt, and it might come in a jar, kind of like this size. And when I smelled it, I was like, "That's a marijuana butthole. It's a marijuana plant's butthole." So it's like butter. I might have had some butter. I'm pretty fucking stoned. I need to get this shit on track. But I also, like, time is, like, not the same thing as it normally is. It's not. This feels nuts. Okay. Alright. And you know what else wheat butter does? Makes you really fucking hungry. So fucking selfish when I fucking only when I start thinking just about me, when I fucking get this fucking selfish, when I get full of fucking greed, when did I start paying any attention? The thing that's happening, only thinking about my goal. When the fuck I'm gonna see that life is happening all around you every minute of the day. There's only so much that your brain can contemplate and take. So you gotta understand that the tunnel that you make, a reality tunnel's leads the way. Your reality tunnels try to steer it the right way. Your reality tunnel try to steer it, try to open up your reality tunnel, try to open up my. Sounds so hippie. Try to open up your reality tunnel. Sometimes, I mean, I'm a hippie. I smoke a lot of weed. I'm on weed butter right now. It's pretty hippie-ish. I'm doing a podcast called Little Flame Lips. I don't think I've talked about them at all. I don't think I've talked about them really at all. But I'm a big fan of Beck. So my brother's like 6.5 years older than me. Which is significant. That's puberty and a lot of years ahead of me. So, he was just like he was a cool guy, cooler than me, of course. So he like Spawn comics. I gotta read his Spawn comics. I gotta read his X-Men. I mean, I guess I got into X-Men mostly from the cartoon, but like still he had X-Men comics. He had Spawn comics. He had Superman comics. He had X-Men comics. He had Spawn comics. He had Superman comics. He had all sorts of comics and cool things and all sorts of cool records and music. And I remember like hearing no, not that song. Yeah, in the time of that song. I don't know what it's called right now. Beck's song. Like listening to that song on tape and being like, this is a cool song. You know, I was like 8 years old. I was like, this is fucking cool. And just listening to that. But I wouldn't have listened. I mean, my point is I'd be listening to like Disney music if it wasn't for my brother. I meet kids that are only childs, and like you have a window into your older sibling's life. And I also got into stuff from my sister too, for sure. But it's like I got into stuff from my sister, for sure. But mostly I got into stuff from my brother because he was just mostly like, at least I'm talking about art-wise, just because he was very interested in that, you know. And so it was like when he was in college and shit, watching like movies like I.R. Huckabees. That's when I was like in high school. So I gotta like I was just always reaping the benefits of like his elderness and his elderly ways, because he was just always, you know, into cool shit and like, you know, into Nietzsche and into all sorts of cool stuff that like I'm into and I love, because You know, so much of that I think is like him being such an influence on me, but it's also like just having someone, you know, Mark Maron talked about it on his podcast a bunch, like, you know, you gotta have someone, you know, he talks about it on his podcast a bunch, like, you gotta have the guy that, like, or the guy or gal that, like, introduces you to all the stuff, you know, and, like, is a window, you know, and now that I can have them from the internet, you know, people can just, like, type in, well, you know, what are the best bands, and, like, this just wasn't going on, you know, the internet was just, like, for porn at first. Just like but that was like a cool thing. Like the same time around, like listening to that Beck song, I found like my brother's porn on the computer, like his pictures, and they were like really good, like Playboy porn. So I'm glad I saw that. It's like, could you even call Playboy porn anymore? Like it's like like the pictures I saw, and I still remember them. Like they're embedded into my brain for sure. The first naked women I saw, and just I remember like going into this folder, and it was called like Goat or something, Goat, and just like going into this folder and like seeing it and just being like this 8-year-old kid and being like, wow. And it wasn't even like sexual, it's just like, wow, these women are so beautiful, wow. Like it was before Photoshop, and I'm sure they had like tricks and shit, but I mean, goddamn, they was just so pretty, and it was just cool, like this classy and just like this really, really nice lingerie. And now porn's just like, fuck you in the ass. Oh yeah, open up your butthole. Oh yeah, we're gonna open up your butt. I don't know why that shit. Sometimes you're watching porn and sometimes they're doing anal, whatever. But why do I want a butthole shot? Why do I want like a gaping butthole shot? Like it looks like original trilogy Return of the Jedi Sarlacc pit. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to get lost like Boba Fett, dude. No. But I'm not into anal. I mean, I'm into ass play. I'm just not into like having sex with a penis in the butt, because it's like, I don't know. Just there's a vagina right there. It's like what it's made for. But like fingers, sometimes girls like dildos, whatever. The national average for sexual partners. How many sex partners have you had since 18? How do I stack up? This is how I'm gonna find out. 31 male. Where's the non-binary fucking? How many sex partners have I had since 18? Let's go with 20. It's more than that, I think. Damn, 55. Someone's got 55. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not like a super slut. You've done the deed with more people than 77% of your peers. I was like, there's no way. Because, I mean, I don't know. I lied. Let me do it again. What? What is this shit? I didn't lie. So, I don't know. People lie on these things. And that's just vaginal sex. If you were counting like blowjobs and stuff, I don't even know. But I don't have any STDs because I keep it safe and I keep it clean because I don't want any STDs. Yeah. So, I mean, it was just cool. You can't believe I'm transitioning to this memories as a kid now. Oh yeah, but seeing the porn, that was cool. Seeing the pornography, I should call it, I guess. Seeing the porn was very nice and cool, and I loved that. So I always had like a cool window into things like that. And I was really glad that, like, again, going back to like how I'm really glad that like the porn I saw as a kid was like very kind of definitely classy considered to now, and that I wasn't like originally introduced with like looking online for a naked lady, and she's like a naked lady, and then like one black guy walks in, one white guy walks in, one Latino guy. I'm making this very racially equal. Then an Asian guy walks in. and they all take their dicks out and they all find a hole. That. And one of them, I guess, has to use a hand. She has to get her hand, but she can handle it because she's done it before. And this is like the first thing kids are seeing when they're like 8. I'm glad I didn't see that. It was just the beautiful naked ladies. And not even a vagina. I mean, I didn't know what a vagina looked like for so long. So not until like I saw one in real life, really. It's the good old days. So, I loved Beck. And as Beck came out with albums, my brother bought those albums and I listened to those albums. And then one time Beck came to Salt Lake City when I lived in Provo. So my mom drove me and my girlfriend and my girlfriend's best friend. And we went to the Flaming Lips show. Or the Beck show, but the Flaming Lips were playing with them at the time. This was like 2002, 2003, something around there. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was 2000, 2001. Yeah, it was like 2001. So, around then. Anyway. I was just thinking about how, like, oh yeah, things were so much simpler before 9/11, huh? But that probably is my childhood too. But they were very definitely simpler. It's wild. Anyway, get with the program. We went to see them, but the Flaming Lips opened, and I've never seen anything like it. And it was amazing. And my sister was there and her friend too. And it was funny because I bought the tickets early because I was a huge Beck fan. So I bought the tickets early, but I didn't really know much about buying tickets at the time, I guess. But we bought the tickets early. And I was in the furthest back seat that you could be. We were at the theater in the University of Utah. I don't know what it's called. But the University of Utah Theater. And we were in the theater of the University of Utah. We're in as far as back you can go. I really think we were as far, like, my back. I could just, like, slam my head against the wall if I wanted to for how bad of a mistake that was. But whatever. We got to see the whole show from far away. But, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Flaming Lips, but, like, they're fucking amazing live, and they really just blew the house away. And, like, the only reason like Beck's set was comparable was because the Flaming Lips were like the backing band for Beck. Otherwise, they just would have been blown out of the water. Because like the lineup they had, and the lineup they had recently was really good, but the lineup they had right then too, I mean, they were just on fire, and the Flaming Lips sounded so fucking good. The Flaming Lips sounded amazing, and it was just I was really blown away, and I was really blown away by their performance and just their exuberance and. I really loved Wayne Coyne's attitude, and he was just such an exuberant and positive guy, and I really wasn't. I was like really a big Radiohead fan at the time, and just sort of like into being sad and paranoid, and like into being like just like super glorifying, like, you know, puberty feelings, just like emotions. I mean, I love Radiohead, so I'm not saying anything bad against it, but I was just like, that's where my mind was at. I was like, I'm a depressed kid. And I do think I have depression, but it was this thing that I was also glorifying, and or I can be prone to depression, I should say. But it was this thing I was glorifying at the time, and so when Wayne Coyne was like the other side of that coin. Look at that! I didn't even mean to do that, but he really is, and he's just this. At the time, at least, I don't know because I don't follow up on them too much. But yeah, I would say still. I mean, I saw their show, and their show was very positive. It was very much about, like, love and about, like... I mean, I'm going to tell the stories, but it's really cool just, like... Their show was awesome. So, we see their show. Their show is amazing. They're playing... I mean, Beck's playing stuff off of Sea Changes. That's Beck's best album, for sure. And just, like, playing stuff off of Sea Changes, and he sounds fucking amazing. He's fucking... They're all killing it. And he played some solo stuff, and he even played, like, I think Do You Realize by the Flaming Lips solo, and it was just like a really good show. Like, it was a really good show. And so, I mean, it changed my life. I went home. We went home after we went home because my sister's friend and my sister went with us home, or we dropped them off at the college, and my sister was like, "You need to start wearing deodorant." And like, I still a lot of times don't wear deodorant, so I should probably like talk about it on this podcast. But I've been doing it more. I mean, more the merrier. So, so we see the Flaming Lips, and I go home and I'm like, I've never heard of this band. I don't know anything about this band. And they had like a fucking flash player on their website. I maybe the whole album of Yoshimi. I think maybe the whole album, but definitely like a bunch of tracks from Yoshimi, some tracks from like Soft Bulletin, some tracks from In a Priest-Driven Ambulance, I think, or not In a Priest-Driven Ambulance, from Cloud States Metallic, I think, and Yoshimi was the album out at the time, so it was like that was the new stuff, and I was just like listening to songs, like listening to their music, and then I got their album, Yoshimi, and then I got Soft Bulletin, and I just really, 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 really got into the band in a way that I've never gotten into a band before. I mean, I was super into Blink-182. I was super into Blink-182 when I was in junior high, but even that obsession like did not match this. And I'm just looking at these files right now, and my obsession, I guess, ended, at least with this one. It really ended in about 2010, and not in a negative way, but 2010 was when like the John Whites became my band. Like, I mean, I was doing it for 5 years, but when I made Monkey Man, which was my sixth, sometimes I just can't enunciate. My sixth album, just my life changed. Monkey Man. Oh, my podcast is exported. Let's upload a podcast while I'm doing a podcast. This is kind of incestual in a way. Or, I don't know, not incestual. That's weird. Why did I say incestual? That's Freudian. Damn it. Man, human beings they confuse themselves a lot. Uploading the episode, The Blonde. Cool. It's going. It'll be a couple hours before that's up. Episode 31. I don't know what episode this is, but episode 31, 32, 33. I guess this is 34. What the fuck was I talking about? I had something to do with Flaming Lips, because that's what this episode's trying to be about, at least in some way. Oh, my sixth album came out. Look, I did it. And, that's when the John Whites just became my favorite band. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way, they just did. And it's like, okay, well, then it's the Beatles, and then my favorite band after them is the Flaming Lips. And then my favorite, like, obsession after that was, well, I don't know how to say that, but, like, I'm just saying, like, the John Whites became my fucking favorite band, and the John Whites became my fucking focus on, in my life. So my obsession, I guess, ended around that time, which was, like, embryonic. And I was into that album. I mean, I got into that album, but it just, like, once you get to that point where you're, like, making your own stuff a lot, it's like, you just want to spend like, did that register? It was a fart. You just want to spend most of your time making your own art and making your, what fascinates you about that band, like kind of unlocking those things in yourself and unlocking that project in yourself. And then it became my own project, and just making Monkey Man, I was like, whoa. And when it was done, I was just like, okay, this is my focus. This is my favorite band. I love the John Whites, and I just need to focus on that. And I just kept doing that, So that's been, 7. I mean, I was focused before that, but even more focused these last 7 years, I guess. Okay. So, I see them. I get super into them. Then that next summer, so the summer of 2003, I guess. I think that is right. I'm pretty sure. So I guess I saw them in 2002. The summer of 2003, I saw by that point, I had listened to everything they had done pretty much. All the stuff from like Yoshimi backwards on. I mean, the Soft Bulletin, all the B-sides of the Soft Bulletin, all the B-sides to all their albums that I could find, like everything, just searching like fucking, there was a program called Soulseek that people used to use, or what, anything I could use, like the Okie Noodling EP, getting it all. And just absorbing and being fascinated with the fact that they're like the Beatles and that they're like ever changing and always changing, which I think is just so cool. They're always, every album is different. And I'm looking at all their albums and they're so cool. And then doing something like Zyarica, and so we'll get into that. So, a couple months, okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So a couple months after the show, or maybe a month after that show, seeing the Flaming Lips, I was on the couch and my friend Eric was doing something on the computer, checking something on the internet. And I had my capo on. I was like, I just kind of wrote this song. And I was like, Eric, should I have the capo on or I have the capo off? And then I like took the capo off. And I was like, so I was more like, so without those high notes. But so that, and I was like, which one do you like better, with the capo or without? And he was like, I don't know, dude. I was like, you like it with or without? And he said, I don't know, dude. Whatever. So I was like, all right, well, I guess you just have to like make decisions. So I was like, with the capo. And it was the first like time I'd ever made something that, I mean, I guess I had doodled stuff maybe. Maybe I had taken creative writing. I don't even know if I'd taken my creative writing class. No, because I think I took it that next semester, I think. Just because I don't think I made anything. My point is I hadn't made anything. It was like the first thing I made that wasn't already in this world before like I got here. You know what I mean? Like, it's the first thing I made. Right away, and I've like been performing in a long time, so it didn't sound that good at first. It sounded arrogant. I didn't mean that to, but like it was, you know, I had that riff, and that was the first thing I ever made, and it was like a drug, and it's this a drug I still, that sweet, and I know it was because of that show. I really do, because it was just like I saw them playing. I was like, that's what I want to fucking do. But I also like it just got in my mind, and just like Wayne Coyne talks when he's on stage a lot, and he's very encouraging. He's like, you should do art. You should make art. Life is short. You should do the things you want to do. And it's, especially I think because his band was really starting to blow up at that point for the first time, like where it was like a solid blow up and not like. You know, his band was always exponentially growing, but that was when a point was like hitting an apex, and especially with the internet, like, so he was just like, just keep going, you know, because like he's got a really fascinating story about like, you know, working as a chef, as like a chef at a Long John Silver's, I think for like, you know, 15, 18 years or like 15 years, some 17, 18, I don't know, years, 18 years fucking at this place. You know, when he was still a band out touring and doing all this stuff, and like it was just this huge inspiration, like as far as just like never give up. And like he was like in his 40s, or maybe he's like, yeah, it was in his 40s when like Yoshimi came out, I'm pretty sure. And just like that was so cool to be like, yeah, it doesn't matter how long it takes, like you just can never give up. And I knew that as a kid, and like I mean, it's something I still believe with, and something I'm still like always, you know, telling me like if I ever feel discouraged, like, dude, you can't give up. You know, that's how you lose. You lose if you quit. And I don't want to quit, because making art is my life. Really, it's like you know, my family's the most important, and then making art is the second most important thing. But like, I can't just like always be bugging my family and be bothering my family. Like, we all have our own lives. You know what I'm saying? Of course, but like they take priority. But this is what I do with most of my time. It's make art. This is my thing. So. Fuck. I lost track of it because I started just rambling. Just to never give up. It's like to always fucking keep doing it and keep fucking, just keep at it. And like, because I had studied their discography so well, like to see like, you know, their first 3 albums are cool, but it's like when In a Pre-Serbian Ambulance comes out, it's like that's another motherfucking level. And then fucking Hit to Death in the Future Head is great. And then Transmissions from the Satellite Heart is another level jump. Then Clouds Taste Metallic, I think, is another level jump. Then Zyarica is like, what the fuck is going on? And then the Soft Bulletin's another level jump. And then Yoshimi's like, I don't know, it's like an alternate version of the same video game. Like, or like a secret level in the video game of the Soft Bulletin. Like, it's like the companion piece to it. And like, At War with the Mystics kind of like is the trilogy of that. And like, that wasn't as strong as an album, but it was still really good. And like, you know, whatever. It's got the Yeah 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 song. It's got fucking Vein of Stars. I mean, this is a great album. I take that back. The Wand, going on, going on, behold our... Yeah, whatever, I take that back. It's great. That's a great trilogy, and I think that's kind of like a trilogy, really. Maybe Zyarica, Soft Bullets, and Yoshimi is the trilogy, and At War with the Mystics is like the epilogue. Is it epilogue? Fuck, I hope I got that right. I hope I look smart. I don't look smart, but so encouraging, and it was something that I realized that's what I wanted to do. And you know, I haven't made a living at it yet, but it's something I still want to do it, and I know I'm going to. Like, I know one of these days I'm gonna do it. Like, that's the new priority I made. My priority was like, make an album a year in your 20s, 9 album, 9th album's a triple album, 11 albums, technically 9, but you know, basically 11 albums, so it works. I made 11 albums in my 20s. I mean, I'm still working on 31, but it's like I'm just like mixing stuff and like kind of detailing. It's kind of mixing, mastering. There's some stuff I'm recording, like choir vocals, stuff like that. And I did some orchestra, whatever. The basic gist is, I feel like I accomplished my goal there. Now it's time for me to keep making albums, accomplish my goal commercially, and not just commercially. I'm talking about like having fans. I want to have fans. I want to have people that love my music. I don't want to have a ton of people that like me. I want to have people that love me. I want to have like a few people that love me. I want to have as many people that love me, instead of just being inauthentic and having a lot of people like me. So, these are like lessons I learned from the Flaming Lips, and some stuff I've stuck with for like 15 years, 14 years now. But like, that's basically half my life. Like, so I met Wayne Coyne when I was 17 because we had started this band. I had written that song. Steven Stewart is this guy. He's in the band Zyarica. We named it after the band The Flaming Lips. Again, I was very obsessed with them. And of course I would never like name a band after something now, but like you're young and that's when like you don't really have your own ideas and you're just formulating. And Wayne Coyne had all these really cool essays for his albums and like at the beginning of his albums, and it was just so cool to have all like that knowledge and stuff, and to have his experiences, and to have these really cool essays like before his albums, and to read them and stuff. So, I would just get really into it. And then in the Zyarica one, it was really cool, and like the idea of what that word meant, and how it was a combination of what it was, and it was the combination of Zaire or whatever, Zaire in Africa with Eureka, and about that being like this dichotomous thing coming together. But you haven't heard about it. It's amazing. It's four albums, all these songs, but you have to play them on 4 different players. So you have to get 4. It used to be easy now with iPhones and like speakers and shit, but back in the day when you had to get like your cars all together or get a bunch of stereo systems together, like that was hard to do, but it was always worth it. It was really cool, and it was, I didn't do drugs in high school or anything like that, so it was like that was like my druggy experiences. Really though, my druggy experiences were listening to the Flaming Lips, and then eventually getting into Ween in early college, but that was like down the road a little bit. So we started the band, and everyone in the band goes to see the Flaming Lips. And after the show, and it's amazing, after the show, we just sneak backstage, we just go backstage, or we go to the stage, because we just like, we're not going to leave without meeting them. And like the drummer for the Foo Fighters there, Pete Yorn was there. We didn't give a fuck about anybody, but we wanted to meet the Flaming Lips. And like, so we somehow like got in, and we walked back to where like where the people stand in the theater, or where the people stand in the auditorium, theater, whatever it's called. So we went into where like you're standing to watch the show, and like Wayne Coyne's just like in front of the stage, and like Steven Drozd is like on the phone, he's over there, and like we all walk up to Wayne Coyne, and we're like, Wayne, what's up, dude? And like they just like were so cool. And I mean, it was not a meet and greet situation. It was like fans like just going back and meeting the Flaming Lips, and like it was really cool. And like I keep saying like I'll get better. I'm learning. We're going to talk to Wayne, and he's just so cool. Steven's on the phone. We're talking to Wayne. So he's talking to us like 15 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then Steven Drozd gets on the phone, and so Drozd gets off the phone, and he comes, and they talk for like another 10 minutes. So it's like this 25-minute interaction with like our heroes. It's really what it was. It's so crazy to think about that. And just to be like, and they were just so encouraging. They were so like, you guys should do what you want. You should go make art. You should just follow your dreams, and like whatever it is you want to do, just keep following your dreams, and like the money will come as long as like you just fucking believe in yourself, and like just don't. It was just completely like stay true, like be pure, and like follow your bliss. I eventually found out about like Joseph Campbell and like that term follow your bliss, but I didn't know about it at the time, and that was like my real first introduction to that. That's not kind of stuff like Tom York doesn't. I think everybody out there should follow their dreams, and that's not a good Tom York at all. But he doesn't think he doesn't. I'm not saying he doesn't believe that. He just doesn't talk about that kind of stuff. But Wayne Coyne really does, and and he was just so encouraging to us and us being in the band, and it was just one of those things. It was so encouraging, and I just really believed, like, I believed there, and I believed because of that, like, that I could do anything, and it was so cool that, like, it was so cool that they took the time out of their day to do that, and, like, take times with, like, these people, and they signed stuff for us, they took pictures with us. If I can find them, I'll put them up. I'll see if I can, but they took pictures with us, which was so cool, and just was one of the coolest. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life. And then before that, just the show itself, and we showed up really early, and but before that, like when we got in and the show, and like I'd never seen the Flaming Lips up close before because we were so far back from the first time. So we saw them like front row. We were right by Michael Ivins. I wish we would have been by Stephen Drozd, but it was perfect. It was perfect, and we were in the perfect spot. But I'm huge. Everyone's a huge Stephen Drozd fan because he does all sorts of the instrumentation stuff. But Michael Ivins is a fucking founding member, and that was fucking awesome. And he's just great in of itself, and he's a great engineer and all that stuff. So anyway, we watched the show, and it's incredible. I mean, it's one of the greatest fucking things in the world. I'll never forget it ever. It was so amazing. It was boombastic, Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Bunda Bro, whatever that guy says. So then, boom. It's just like, I feel like, I mean, and I'm using this as a comparison because I think, it was like John the Baptist and getting baptized. I'm not comparing myself to Jesus. Everyone is Jesus in this scenario. Like, you have those people that, like, I don't know, they anoint you in a way. And I felt anointed, and I felt alive in a way that I really hadn't before. And his music had already done that. Just because, you know, stuff like, you realize the sun don't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning around. Like, that just really meant a lot to me. It means a lot to me now, but it meant a lot to me as a kid because it was just a thought pattern I hadn't thought of before. And as a Mormon kid, it was all just about the future and about like, pleasing God and doing the right thing and following rules. And this guy's talking about, no, there's beauty like all around us right now. It's just pulsating everywhere. You just have to like swim in it. And, you know, I guess in like a Joseph Campbell kind of way, like you just have to let go. Like, you know, if you want freedom, you just have to like fall and let go because you're just like, you're falling anyways. But if like you're so tense, it's like you're not enjoying it. But if you just like free fall, if you just do that, then you can kind of embrace the kind of chaos / choices we get to make that are this combination of our lives. And so it's cool, like even through his music, but then meeting him, and I just felt baptized. And so we went back, and I got really into the band, and then they all went on their missions because that's what Mormons do. Most of them, we didn't because we were Jack Mormons and not really Mormons at all. But I mean, kind of, but not really. We're church a lot, but like, if you're in Mormonism, you know that like going to church, we didn't even go all the time, but like going to the church is just like one part of it. There's so much stuff, but I do not have any regrets or anything like that. I don't have any like, I don't have anything really negative to say about my childhood in that way. I think it's weird. Some of the one time my bishop came and asked me if I was watching porn. Maybe it's kind of weird. But like, maybe it's not good for kids to watch porn. I don't know. I think I turned out all right. But so they all went on our missions, and so we had this band Zyrica, and basically Steven Stewart wrote some songs. This guy named Ren Whiteman wrote some songs, and I learned a lot from being in that band. I learned a lot. I learned that I really liked working with Steven, and I didn't really like working with Ren. And I don't think that's, whatever, I'm not trying to call Ren out, but I just didn't like working with him that much. And I don't think he liked working with me either. So it's totally fine to say that. But it was still fun, and I enjoyed him, talking about the work, like making music part of it. And I didn't really like the songs that I didn't like the songs nearly as much as Steven's songs. So working on like his songs was just like filler. And that's where I learned about filler. You don't have filler. That's what you do. You don't have it. You regret it. You regret the songs that you don't like that much that are out there. You regret the songs you half-assed. So I'm lucky, like nothing half-assed has ever happened with the John Whites because I had that experience with Zaireeka. So I learned a lot from that. We'll go into maybe a little bit of that. So Steven has these songs. So Brandon has these songs. Steven has these songs. I love working on Steven's songs. They're really good. Hoping that, yeah, I'm hoping that I'll break the ice. Break the ice tonight. The ice tonight. The ice tonight. I mean, I wrote the lyrics and the melody, but like, he wrote the chords, and they were just cool chords and cool vibes, and we wrote songs together, and we worked really well together. We worked really well together in a way that Ren and I didn't, and so that's why I'm not trying to be negative. It's a cool experience to be like, okay, Steven and I have a really cool connection, and so we got along really well, and that was cool. So we made songs. And it's like you're falling in love, basically, but you're making music and your band's happening, and then they just go for it. It's like, hey, I'm going to fucking Brazil or wherever the fuck I think he went to Portugal. No, he went to Spain. But he's like, I'm going to Spain for fucking 2 years. And it's like, oh, cool, awesome. So that was awesome, too, because then I learned that band members can just leave. They can just go. And so that's where the John Whites kind of came from, is just like, okay, well, you can't... The John Whites is me. It doesn't really matter who's in the... I mean, it matters. I don't want shitty people in the band, but like... As long as I'm in the band, it's called the John Whites. So, like, I am the John Whites, and then I play with people. So, I mean, I love my band, and I love anyone that's in my band. So, it's just sort of this thing where... But it's also a thing where if they want to leave, or... It's not a big deal, because we can figure it out, you know? It's my band. It's the John Whites. It's my project. Like, I'm like, hey, this is what the album's called. And they're like, okay. Like, it's not the kind of band like that we discuss what the album's called or what songs are called or what. But we do discuss like how songs are. Like on Beautiful Strangers, there's a lot of discussion about this. The Construct and Alex Korstinsky, who co-produced the album, did a ton of work and a ton of post-production work. You know, after we bared after like the vocals and all the bare tracks were laid down, all like the bass and the drums and everything were laid down. He did a ton of work on it, and so there's those things where I give everyone the freedom, like within their own realms, but then like I'm the writer and I'm like the one that's leading the ship. I'm the captain of the ship of the John Whites. Obviously, that's why it's called that. But I learned that your bands can just fucking leave. You know, that's why it's called that. And I learned that your bands can just fucking leave, and so that's why it's the John Whites. And it was really heartbreaking. It was super heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking because it was really fun. It was really cool to play with them. But then it was on. So I was making really, 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 really weird. So I got it. So for my 17th birthday, I wrote when I was 16. For my 17th birthday, my dad got me a recorder, and the recorder was a recorder that I had some friends, Joe and Matt. They were in a band called Foxglove at the time. They eventually became Mathematics, etc. But they were in a band, and they were my friends at the time. So they were in a band, and I thought they were really cool, and they had an EP that they recorded on a BR8 Boss 8-track recorder. So I bought one, and that's what Steven would record his part. So that I bought one. My dad bought one for me, I should say. That's the whole point of this. I got it for my birthday. I got it for my 17th birthday. My dad bought it for me. I got it for my 17th birthday, and well, I mean, again, just sort of like writing that song, which is called Rehash, the first song I ever wrote. Writing that song. Really lit a spark in me. Well, recording it and getting an 8-track recorder, and because their stuff sounded good, so I bought it because it sounded good. So, my dad bought it again, but I got it, and man, I was just clicking around. Like, I'm so fucking high right now. I'm like really fucking baked. Sometimes you got to get high to get like you gotta get more high to get more clarity in your high, you know? So Steven would record his parts on the piano or his guitar parts, and he would send them to me, and then I would record them all when I was by myself, because I don't like really like do that much stuff when I'm around people. I don't. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends, but I would record them by myself, and then we would get together and record them, and we made those demos, and then we made an EP. But before I recorded the final vocals final vocals of the EP, and one of the songs I didn't even have scratch vocals on, and they were all scratch vocals. I knew they were scratch vocals because I wanted to go practice and get my voice stronger, because I was leaving to Reno for about a month. But Ren was going on his mission, so Ren just printed the album while I was gone without any of my permission, without letting me know, without talking to me at all. He just printed it like the cunt fuck asshole. Still fucking pissed about that dude. Ugh. Cunt fuck asshole that he was at the time. I really like Ren now, so I don't want to say that, but at the time he was a cunt fuck asshole, and that's a cunt fuck asshole thing to do, and I would never do that to someone, just release something under their nose. And anyways, it made me really mad. So there's a song called Door, which is the best song that we had as a band, and there's no fucking vocals on it, because he just had to go, and I should have just finished it, you know, because he had to go on his mission, and he wanted to print it before he left, instead of just being a fucking man and dealing with the fact that it wasn't fucking done, and it would get done by me and Steven. It's so funny how I still have a grudge about this. It's still so funny that I'm still mad about this, but I'm still mad about it. But I would love to have that song. I would love to have that song. I even have, like, in my Zyriga folder, it's called Ren's Edit. It's funny. I know this is about the Flaming Lips, but whatever. This is a song called Door. So that's just Steven playing everything. Cheers, 3 legs, who cares anymore? I'm on the bay and you're stuck on the shore. Tap at the cage that's tied to the floor. Keep your eyes wide on the key and the door. Walking down the way with a tall glass of milk, singing about gazing how gay they are still. Picking up where you left off on the page. Picking up where you left off on the about change or the way things could be, or the power of one, or the one you can see, or the backpacks you had, or the head you still do, or the man at the door, or the wings that you flew. I don't know the words, they were caught in the fire. I don't know the words, they were lost in the door. might be able to fix that. So this is me. I went in like when I was 19. We recorded in a studio with the band the album that he released without everyone's approval. We recorded it in the studio on the back of a venue, I should say. And I went in later and recorded the vocals on the VR8, which we wrote the songs on. Which I also started writing all the songs for the John White song, and which I recorded the first John White's album on. So I ran it through that. That part sounded awful, but maybe the rest will work. My voice is so different than when I was fucking 19. Jesus Christ. So such a long time ago, 12 years ago. So this is the first song that I played. This is the first song rehash that I was talking about. This is the first album. See how the vocal quality is different from the studio versus my own post. Not knowing what the fuck I was doing, otherwise I would have turned that part down. It's pretty goofy sounding. Not that noticeably different. I think that's salvageable. I think I can fix that. That'll be cool. I was thinking about re-recording this. Because those vocals part, I hope I can just fix it. Because sometimes you just gotta let sleeping dogs lie, you know? Man, it's in your mind, gives in. Damn, I don't even remember that part. Words are all in our hands up. That's Steven, just being a cool guy on the guitar. That sounds like a retard. This is part's cool. Here comes the retarded part. That other one. Oh, look at this and that fake piano sound. I would never allow that. And you want to cover me, but pay no mind. I'm too busy storytelling. I think Ren wrote one song and I'm talking all this shit about it. This isn't that song. This is Steven Nice. This is funny, I'll tell you why. It's like I was busy storytelling when the alleys left. Sleep on it, close your eyes, but never stop the storytelling. I'm open I'm open I'll break the ice. It sounds like ass. I'll break the ice tonight. It's supposed to be ice. The ice tonight. The ice tonight, dude. Come on. The ice tonight. It's where I should probably re-record this. And I'm open this whole. I'm gonna record this. Just it doesn't say ass.
I'll break the ass.
I didn't know what.
The ass tonight. The ass tonight.
That's super funny.
The ass tonight.
The ass sounds.
The reasons we
Break the ass? I guess that's cool. That's really funny though. That's not what I meant.
I'm keeping track with storytelling. As soon as I saw myself, call it alive. Take the piss while storytelling. And I'm hoping that, yeah, I'm hoping that I'll break the ice. And I'll break the ice tonight.
Back to ass.
The ass tonight. The ass tonight.
The ass tonight, dude.
And I'm hoping that
I think I was fucking green. I don't know what. I don't remember. I'm just skipping out. I don't remember this. Oh, let's just pretend that didn't happen. Just pretend that didn't happen right there. This part's really cool. This is Steven. This is just Steven. This is really cool. This is just Steven. Whoa. That's nuts. I'm fucking stoned. Listen to that. It's crazy. But while like so taking all the songs into and look, if I would have been able to finish the album, fucking I would have found it said break the ass. I would have fixed it. I would have said ice. Break the ice. That's why they were scratched. But while we were doing those songs, I was making stuff like this. So there's that. There's that one. Let's see about another one. Let's see if I can. What about this feller? To that one right now. What about this guy? So country kind of jam.
You like this song enough? You like this song enough?
And even I think other yeah, so I mean it's just making those kind of songs, and that was what eventually became the John Whites. But I mean it's all these kind of like, it's all these, like if I didn't go to that show, I mean I always wanted to be in a band, but that show made it real, and then meeting him made me believe I could do it. More than just being in a high school band or whatever. So, to get them gone, and then the John Whites began, and they left, and then the John Whites began, basically. And I was always making this kind of stuff for 2 years, and then the John Whites kind of came out of that. But so at this point, I've seen the Flaming Lips twice. I'm getting tired. This is only an hour and a half in. I'm stoned. I'm hungry. I'm probably gonna do this in 2 parts. So let me get at least to the third show. Yeah, I'll go to the third show. The third show that I saw them at. Fuck. What are you gonna do? I guess. I mean, so the third show I got them at. I saw them at was at Red Rocks Amphitheater with Ween. And by that point, I'm a huge Ween fan too. And you heard that like weird shit. I didn't know about Ween at the time. And then like later on I heard Ween and I was like, oh, people listen to this stuff? Like all other people like it, and I really love Ween, and I think they're amazing, and I love like all their albums, all their early albums. I mean, I think the last album they made, I think that's the one I just don't know that well. But I'm a huge fan, dude. Quebec, fucking all that shit is fucking amazing, dude. Like, they're fucking, I love that shit. So anyway, so I've been seeing Ween, I'm seeing Flaming Lips. I mean, it's me. I've seen Ween and Flaming Lips at fucking Red Rock Amphitheater. That's fucking awesome in Denver. That's awesome. And this is now a couple years later. And the John Whites, I've probably made one album. Maybe two. Maybe the John Whites, the band, has started when I'm 20. Maybe I'm 19. I don't remember when we saw them, but check this shit out. It's this thing called Google, John Aaron. Red Rocks Amphitheater, Flaming Lips, Ween, concert. ...2006, so I was 20. So yeah, so 19 or 20, when was it? Yeah, 20 if it was, what month? It matters what month. Estúpido! It matters what month, man! Come on, man! Why does it matter exactly what age I am? I don't really know. But July 29th, 2006. Where the fuck did May come from? July 29th, 2006. So that would have made me 20. So I had made one album at that point, and we went to go see the Flaming Lips. And it was fucking amazing. It was fucking great to see them live. It was fucking amazing every moment that I saw your eyes. And in the moment I take it, in the moment I take that sign. It's baby.
pass, he says, what's up? Shut up. And now I pass, I say, he says, shut up. There's so much I could say about you. Don't have to touch you to be touched. You're my brown queen, darling. You're my brown queen, darling. You melt the ice around my heart, girl. The water fills my blood. Thanks to our conversation, you make me think things I've been thought for a while. You make me feel things. Got rid of my gut. Around you, melting. She helps with the pumping. You're my blood queen, darling. You're my blood queen. Why don't you say so? Why can't I say some things to you? I'm feeling my whiskey split in two. Can't I just say these things to you? Without my words being misconstrued. You are my blood queen, darling. You are my blood queen. You are my blood queen, darling. You are my blood queen. When you come out across a million stars, I wanna hold you up across a million stars. I wanna lock you up, lock arms under a million stars. I wanna lock arms under a million stars. I wanna lock arms under a million stars. I wanna lock arms.
Pretty good weed butter. Let's see. What was I talking about? We saw. Oh, this is the best story. This like explains Ween fans and Flaming Lips fans more than any other thing. So we're at the show. We're at Red Rocks. The sun is setting. It's fucking gorgeous. If you haven't looked at the Red Rocks, look up pictures. It's amazing. We're fucking. It's so beautiful. Fuck. What are they called? Come on, I know their band name. Oh, come on, what are they called? Shit. I want to say Tiger La La, and it's not Tiger La La, but it's a band name, I'm sure, somewhere. Shit, I can't think of it. I mean, they're a cool band, but they did like samples and all this stuff. But anyways, other bands that played. Oh, I think just one band had played. Now the sun is setting. And I look over and this girl's just barfing. She's in her seat. She's just barfing. Everywhere. And so the person in front of her is like, what the fuck? So it's a couple. It's a woman barfing on another woman. And the woman is like, what the fuck? Or maybe it's a guy getting barfed on. I'm not totally sure. Either way, the guy stands up and he's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what the fuck, man? And the guy, the boyfriend of the girl who's barfing, of the woman who's barfing, goes, boyfriend of the woman who is fucking puking her guts out because she's been smoking weed, and I'm sure she's just crossfaded because she's been drinking a ton. So she's just fucked up. She's just fucked up. And she barfs. The guy stands up and is like, dude, what the fuck? And the boyfriend goes, dude! Like, come on, man! The guy, like, looked at him and is like... And they fucking, like, hugged. It was like... They didn't know each other. I think it was the guy that got barfed on. It wasn't a ton of... You didn't get... I don't know how much of you got barfed on. You get a little bit of barf on you. Even a little bit is enough. But he got enough. It wasn't like... I don't think it splattered over his back like fucking... What's that movie? What's that movie? Rules of Attraction? I don't think it was like that. But it was like, you know... He got barf on him, and it was just cool to see Ween fans, like Ween and Flame Lips fans, just like this, like, dude, what the fuck? He was just like, dude, come on, man. And then they just like hugged, and everything was cool. And then they just like watched the show, and everything was cool. They watched the show, and I remember like my girlfriend and I started this big fight. I don't know who or for what, but we started this big fight right before the show, and then finally before Ween started, we made up. I mean, that's just the song and dance we played. Fucking Spy versus Spy bullshit we played. But it's just so weird that I have that memory of that. But I also... Damn, I mean, I don't want to fucking just leave him out of the story because he's dead. I'm like, I don't want to bring it up because he died, but... my friend Cameron Larson died, but he obviously wasn't dead when he was at this fucking show, but he died later. But I don't want to leave him out of the story. He's there. And he had to like fucking go to the show with like, hopefully the show was good, and I think it was, but like he had to like be in a car with this really fucking annoying bitchy couple, like fucking manic depressive. I'm like depressive, and she was bipolar. Like he had to like fucking go on this trip with it, but it was cool. We went to the Course Factory. I mean, but there's just, I mean, I really do feel bad, just like. I never fought like that in front of a friend like that. But I don't know. The thing I think most about Cameron, he was just such an incredible guy. And like I was in Utah, and I had the chance to see him, but it would have like kind of inconvenienced my timetable a little bit, so I didn't because I was taking the train and I just like didn't see him. I remember I was like, hey man, I'm taking off, I'm not gonna see you this time. And he like gave me like some frowny faces, you know, like, oh shoot, or you know, it was just like, oh man. And he sent me a text or whatever. It was just, he sent me a text. I was just like, oh shoot, that sucks that I don't get to. He sent me a text. I was like, fuck, I want to see you. He didn't say that. But he just said he wanted to see me, and he said he wanted to see me in the text. I see him after that. Oh, I did see him after that. He did. He came through Reno once, and I saw him and David and Sean. I think no, him and David and Alec. Him and David and Alec were here. So I did get to see him one more time, which was nice. But then I didn't contact him a ton, and then I didn't go out there and I didn't see him because he was on his mission. So I didn't see him. But he came, I finally saw him once. But we messaged each other on Facebook like the night he died. Yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure it was the night he died or the night before. But I think it was the night of, and I think it was the night he died. I messaged him and we were talking. I remember like telling him I loved him, which was cool. But it sucks. It sucks that I didn't spend more time with him. It sucks that I wasn't a better friend to him. It sucks that I didn't go out of my way more to try and see him, because he was on his mission for a really long time. We were good friends before that, and then I just really didn't see him after that, and I didn't talk to him on his mission. I didn't write to him on his mission. And this thing's about the Flaming Lips, so I'll steer it back. But I didn't want to leave him out of the story, and he's just an amazing guy. And I'm sure I'll have David on, and we'll just tell stories sometime, because I just feel like he's a. And it's just insane that he died. I mean, it's just, I don't even know why. I think he just had like a heart issue, and it's just sad that he died. But I mean, I guess everybody dies, and it's just one of those things that you gotta just appreciate the time you get, and you gotta love everyone. And this is the kind of stuff that like Wayne Coyne talks about in his songs, you know. Not trying to like steer away from that, but it's true. It's like, you know, love, love in our life is just invaluable. Oh, to feel for even a second without it. But without doubt, it's just impossible, oh, to realize something isn't feeling yourself disintegrate, feeling yourself disintegrate, feeling yourself disintegrate, feeling yourself disintegrate. Lips is like, he was just like a role model for me as a 16-year-old, until I felt like I was more of an adult by the time Monkey Man. He was just a huge, he's still a role model to me. He's Wayne Coyne I'm talking about, and Stephen Droz. But Wayne Coyne, was like, Stephen Droz in like a artistic, creative level, and then Wayne Coyne too on that level, just the combination of the two, but Wayne Coyne on the philosophical level. The music, he put the philosophy on Stephen Droz's music, and that philosophy of really like, do you realize, like, really trying to change your perspective. I mean, it really, my brother was into the Tao Te Ching, luckily, in Buddhism too, so I got through that, but like, Wayne Coyne really helped also with that stuff, getting into that kind of thought and more of a, how can we manage this reality without, adding other realities we aren't quite sure about. I don't have the answers to that, but this is just this point in my life where I'm growing up only around Mormons, and everyone's believing this one thing, and only South Park and basically the Flaming Lips are like the real philosophies that I get, and then Chuck Palahniuk too. So Flaming Lips, South Park, Chuck Palahniuk are like these things I'm just so obsessed with, these things that mean so much because they're just totally counter to everything that the society I'm in is saying. And thanks to the internet and to fucking Barnes and Noble, man, they can fucking keep, It's like you're the horse and you know where the river is, so whenever the fuck you want to go drink, you go drink it. So that was just so awesome to do that. But so we see them and they play at Red Rocks and it's amazing, and Ween was amazing, and I mean that was just an incredible show too, and just really out of this world, man. I mean, they're just such an incredible band. And I think this is probably a good place to end the first segment, and then I'll come back and talk about the rest a little bit, and then just sing some songs. But just those shows, and like again, going and seeing them after we made one album, so reaffirming too, and just so reinvigorating too. Again, so reinvigorating too to see, so re-energizing to see them after I made my first album, and just again realizing like you got to keep working and stuff. I mean, the only people that make great albums, their first albums, are like people that work with Rick Rubin or Pharrell or some people like that like really know how to make songs really great and are great at making songs, and then they can hone 10 years of someone's material into like these 10 great songs. But like to be something like the Flaming Lips, where you've made 9 great albums, 10 great albums, where you've made 12 great albums, something like that, it's like that's another level. And so it's just again a re-energizing feeling and a re-energizing thing. So I'm going to take a pause and get some water, and I have to pee, and I need to take a break because I'm exhausted from doing this. Not exhausted, but just like tired of, I don't know, I'm really high, and I have to switch the batteries too, so really stoned. Thank you for listening.